So if we are looking at the importance of access to education or ensuring access to education specifically through funding, in terms of financial preparedness, are we seeing a rise in the number of people applying for financial aid for education?
Especially within Eduloan, because we focus substantially on educational finance, we've noticed that there's been a definite increase in terms of people applying. The need is definitely there. Yes, we have limited bursaries out in South Africa, but we've also got options in terms of getting finance. So yes, there definitely has been. And a lot more students are actually wanting to go to university nowadays.
Okay. And staying with financial preparedness, I mean, we're set to face a tough financial year. If for students, even basic amenities would be costing more. How could a student, whether it's at a tertiary level or whether it's somebody who's just, say for example, if I wanted to study further, how would I manage finances with a student loan as well as my studies?
Okay, so what we do as Eduloan, we offer student finance, but what we do is we ensure that the sponsor of that student, so if you're a full-time student, obviously you would require a sponsor in order to pay your study fees. What Eduloan does is we sort of enable the sponsor to have affordable payments. So we take into account the National Credit Act and all the requirements that's required in order to get your study loan, but make sure that it's affordable for the parent. If you are studying at distance education, you can obviously you're obviously earning an income, so you can pay it back as well.
But then paying it back, that surely is one of the issues or one of the challenges to ensuring that people get some sort of assistance to financing their studies.
So in terms of what Eduloan does is we've got two different products. We do the educational finance, so those would be for the obviously parents that can afford to pay their study fees and those that's working and wanting to study. We also do bursary management. A lot of bursars out there has bursaries for the various students that can't afford to pay for their studies. They apply through those various bursaries, and Eduloan manages through our Edu Extra card, which is a debit facility card, that enables the students to manage their money properly and ensure that the entire year is covered with whatever funding they have. Obviously, we want to prevent wastage, and this is why the Edu Extra card enables them to do it effectively as well.
All right, so that's the key, managing your money as a student with your studies.
Yes.
Now, something like the Fees Must Fall campaign, perhaps it's too early to see what kind of impact there might be from something like that, but are you anticipating some kind of effect, and if so, what would it be?
Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the coming months, but yes, we are bracing ourselves in terms of saying that there's a need out there for educational finance, and students have the right to study. So we as South Africans have to make some sort of effort in order to ensure that they get their studies done, that they manage to succeed in life.
So what is the importance then of educational funding, or what are some of the benefits?
In terms of using the Eduloan facility, with us, whilst you're studying, your fees is paid off. So when you start working, you're not sitting with a huge debt, for example. Okay. And the other thing is that, the fees is paid directly to institutions, so we don't give you money in your pocket as a student, and therefore you cannot waste it. It's actually used for educational finance. We also do the funding of the various allowances, which, for example, your books. Without books you cannot succeed. And that's why it becomes key and critical for you to ensure that if you get your finance for your tuition fee, you need to ensure that you have some sort of allowance for your books. And I think that's why Eduloan has actually offered the bursaries to the 5 students, that is the top students in the quintile 1s, 2s and 3s.
All right, Toegida Sulliman from Eduloan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks.